Big up all football lovers and sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the Dean's Breakdown. As we continue our journey, I'll be breaking down the DR Congo offense and defensive strength in anticipation of this all or nothing game against the Reggae Boyz, with the chance to advance to the FIFA World Cup. Let's start with the DR Congo's offense. They are very patient on offensive possessioning, maintaining possession as they look for gaps in the defense and scoring opportunities. When the DR Congo win possession in midfield, they tend to go on attack fast. With, very important, with or without numbers. Players are good on space awareness and ball possession. Creates offensive passing options quickly. Offensive players are relatively short in comparison to the size of the Reggae Boyz defense. On the defensive side, the DR Congo tends to play high pressure defense. Their transition on defense is very good. The DR Congo communicates well with each other on the defensive side of the ball. They put pressure on the ball immensely, especially in midfield. So that will be an interesting dynamic to see how the Reggae Boy will handle that midfield pressure. The DR Congo play very compact in defense, so it's going to be a battle between the Reggae Boys' offensive core to break through their midfield. And the player that plays in the number 6 spot plays as a wedge between the defensive 4 and their midfield 4 in their defensive shape, with the lone striker directing the ball to where they want to apply pressure from. So this is going to be a very interesting game in strategies to see how the Reggae Boy is going to deploy their strategy and how the DR Congo is going to deploy their strategy. It's an all or nothing game. Win or go home. Do or die. It's a result-oriented game. So there has to be a result for this one spot and the chance to get to the FIFA World Cup of 2026. Let's go. What we'll be looking at in these videos are 3 separate games. 2 with Senegal and 1 with Nigeria. The first Senegal game was in the actual qualifiers, and the second Senegal game was in the Afghan Cup. The Nigeria game was the last qualifier they played, which they tied 1-1 and able to win on penalty, which brought them to this stage of the competition, World Cup qualifiers. Going into the start of the game, and they are going to show their so what we see here is what their tendencies to have one of their striker trying to put first pressure on the ball, depending on where the ball goes, and the other striker drops back into the middle of the field. And there you have it. Now the second striker put pressure on the ball, retreat back to midfield. And they'll move, and that's the disruptor right there. When to slow up the play, and he's getting back into position. Yeah, what we just recognize that they will recognize also that they are very disciplined on tracking their player. If you notice the previous play, the midfielder tracked back with his runner and was able to break up the play. All right, now here when the ball when the ball checks back, here when the ball checks back, it's very similar, but their position, the player position is a little different. We have the four line, defensive line. We have the four midfield line, and then we have this player that sits in between. That's one of their tendencies. There's always four here on their defensive setup, one inside the middle here between the midfield line and the four defensive line. It's most of the time it will be this player though. Right here they win possession, and again this is where I say we have to be mindful. They are going on the attack right away. They're pushing the tempo. Here we go again. The player is always in a position to cover the runner. Their defender right here got beat and he's already trying to check back inside the space. Player here coming back. Their defensive midfielder here checking back. He's here, but he knows the guy's on the outside. Very disciplined. There you go again. They're pushing the ball again. What I want us to look at right here, they're pushing the ball, but what they are coming as a group. Here, the crowd around the ball, putting pressure. They actually started the pressure here, and the ball was cleared, and right away they closed down any potential danger that can occur from this breakaway. Now, one of the things also on their on defense, whenever a ball is hit long, one player, not necessarily this player, but whichever player is gonna challenge for the ball, there's also a second player that drops a kind of protective defense to ensure that should there be a mishap, there's no free break for the opposing striker. They put in pressure on the ball and quick touch and able to get a goal. So they are good at putting pressure on the ball and trying to break quickly. So that's something we're gonna have to be well aware of and can't afford to lose the ball in those critical areas. I believe they are a good team, aerial team, and they challenge for the ball very well. But not only challenge for the first ball, they also put themselves in position to either retrieve or get a hold of the second ball. There's always someone around the ball. So again, they have their deep centre back on the break, on Senegal's break. One of the things that I recognize they do very well is they communicate very well on defense. They communicate very well on defense. Shabbat recognize. Before he leaves to go, he's ensuring that he notifies one of his players with just a simple hand gesture. Let's see if we could look at that again. Helping his team to identify any potential danger. And here from a back kick, they went long. Challenge. There we have it again. Always. We'd call a sweeper. They always have a sweeper. And now they had a quick break after the win position. And it's a go. Crossing, put pressure. So they are not afraid to go quick break. So at even though they are looking to move the ball, if they get the chance to go, they are going. And then the trailing players will eventually catch up or make the effort to catch up. Catch the catch Senegal tried to be patient. They brought the ball all the way back in their defensive third and then tried to go down the left side, which is where Sadio Mane is, their stronger side. And what we still recognize here, pressure on the ball, but they still have four players here. That's the vacuum they try to create for the opposing team. Senegal, Senegal right here changing the point of attack. But wasn't able to break, and now they're on the go again. So even when Senegal break right here, again, good defensive recovery. And then they have numbers behind the ball. Though Senegal was able to get the pass in, and that's where we have to try and exploit. Getting in behind, if it takes us to be patient. Let's see again right here. Senegal get out of trouble. Break. What good defensive recovery. Trailer. Come, here we go. Mane able to break, pull the guy, and a shot in, and was able to get a goal. So that's one of the ways also that we can break this team. Now, this is something that I want us to pay attention to. What Senegal is now doing is making quick, snappy passes to break pressure and to see if they could get behind them, which we have to try, or if not do, to break down the Senegal defensive setup. They set here they have it, Senegal here. One, one, right here, quick passes. But they were able to break pressure, though the result was not what they anticipated. All right, here we have pressure foul, and this is something that we have to do. Quick, quick position, touch, and that's quick pass, getting the ball again into space for a finish. So it's quick ball movement and trying to slot the ball into spaces before they can recover. Since they're a good defensive transition team, we can't afford to hold up the ball so they can recover to put pressure on the ball. And that's Senegal's second goal. So they can be broken. You see, again, that's tendency. That's just the way they play. Still have one. This striker is gonna try and move forward, or will move forward right here, and this striker is gonna roll back to the middle. So it's a pendulum as the strike team does, depending on where the ball is. One step, the other retreat, or one step and the other retreat, which they are now in that set. They have a check back, and Senegal just being patient here. Quick quick pass right here. And it's not a hold up. And there you have it again, trailer. That's one of the things I want us to. We can get goals from that. They always have a trailing player. And the trailing player, most of the time, is unaccounted for. Once on the replay, once Senegal was able to get out of pressure quickly. If we notice right here, he's accounted for this man right here. He's looked to get to the ball here. He's looked to pick up this runner. He's coming into this spot, but on the break, there's a trailer coming from here. The scorer is not even in the picture at this point. See, because the depth of the ball and there everyone is defending, trying to cut off the ball responsibly here. These goalkeeper is at the front. He's protecting the middle. He's protecting the back. He's below the penalty spot, so the trailer is right here. That comes into this slot and get a clean slot in from a good cross. This is one of the games that I think the only game that they allowed more than 2 goals. So they can be broken and they can be scored on. It's not a impossible task. We're looking at some of their tendencies and we'll recognize that there's a reoccurring theme in all the things that breaks them, how they defend, and how we can punish them, and what we have to look for. Let's see what it does at kickoff. And here they're putting pressure on the ball from early. Here, Nigeria, quick break. Here, See, comes across, defensive transition. The right back was taking away the run, so he played the ball in. Good defensive transition with possession. Anything looks familiar right here? Striker taking away anything that goes back, responsible, and they're putting pressure on the ball from very early. Their disruptor right here. And here's the set that it generally drops into. Again, striker, 4 players across, and the disruptor just went back into his zone right there. We just saw it again, where there's always one player dropping deep as a sweeper. Alright, here's where I'm making reference to. Player puts his head on the ball. This right back is counted for this player right here. There's a player accounted for this player. Challenges the disruptor right here. Ball gets, but right now they are playing for a second ball. So should they win the header, they are in position to get the second ball. But look right here. Even though he has a player right here, he's already what? Projecting to drop. So they have sufficient coverage. Ball went through and he was able to clean it up. He's always ball side when he's playing in the number 6 position. There he is. See again, he checks off quickly, put pressure on the ball. Nigeria was able to break pressure, change the point of attack. He gets back. He gets back into his respective position right here. Poor clearance. All right. Again, how did Nigeria score? Cross, not a good clearance, and who scored? The trailer. So the trailing player is going to be an important factor when we play. They tend to give up goals from trailers. Now early cross, just a defensive mishap, but look, he's paying attention right here. He's tracking, but he's tracking with the expectation of this player getting in. He's trying to block, but it's an early cross. But the scorer, look where the scorer is coming from, right here. That's the trailing player. So he was unaware that he's getting, or they thought it would have potentially been an easy defensive clearance or a handle. The trailer. That's a Isaac Aiden, Bobby Reed, whoever is playing in the midfield, and probably the deeper midfielder. So they can be broken, and trailing players seems to give them major issues. Now what we have here, they take away they take away this side of the field. So this was the striker up top, and then the 4 midfielders, and they take away this side, so they are forcing Nigeria to go to that side of the field. and now they're in trap mode. This is how high they apply pressure. Maybe the goal forced them to go much faster than they would, but they generally tend to put you under immense pressure, especially into your defensive third. Forces Nigeria get out by what? Quick pass and then so from their pressure to themselves under pressure. But again, they always have numbers in transition. Always have numbers in transition. And here they have a quick restart, and they'll move the ball in their defense. They are not afraid to play the ball like that, but ultimately they are looking to break. So even though they're moving the ball, he stays wide. They play with a lot of width as well. So they'll keep the opposing team stretch. But again, pressure forces them to play the ball out. Anything from the previous game, communicating, 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 communicating. Just the hand gestures tell you there are, which which makes for a good defensive team. Nigeria break, but see, is accounted for here. That's their cover guy. They are transitioning. So again, they outnumber Nigeria on the defensive transition. Keeper was able to collect. What I want us to do is watch. If we could take this player out of the game on their defensive setup, then he's not even committing himself. He's waiting, and dropping back to break. He's not committing himself way above. And here I go, they have forward, four across the middle, and then he sits inside this zone right here, trying to break up anything that slips in, and he's always ball side, or whoever is in this spot, or this their number six position, whoever is in the number six position, uh, that's their sole responsibility, especially on the defensive end. Sometimes they'll come through the middle here to put pressure and then go back. Here he's moving, so we have to shift, and look, here is he communicating early, help giving direction to his player. Where is he again? Ball side. Freeze right here. I think this is where they gotta go. Timely goal as well. Very, very timely goal. Now after they change the point of attack and the player put pressure on the ball here and get a pass here, he's not even waiting. Now Nigeria has numbers, and this is one of the reasons why I said they'll go alone and players catch up, and their players are aware that they have to get there. Now, this is the player that played the ball up the side. And look where he heads. He was behind this player when he played the ball. And now he's what? Getting here. Nigeria's 3-6. That's him in the box right there. Now, DRC as a trailer. And the pressure, a miss up between our bad communication or bad touch, whichever one, they were able to capitalize. Timely goal to bring them back into the game. That game ended in a 1-1 tie, and they went to extra time and subsequent penalty kick where DRC was successful and is now awaiting the Jamaican team after they conquered New Caledonia in the playoff. So we're going to take a look at the second Senegal game, which is one of their most recent competitive game in the African Cup, and see if we see any tendencies that we could continue to examine. Let us see if anything jumps out at us in this game, their most recent game. From the kickoff, player they started to show again that they're gonna start pressure. Pressure again, different four across the line, four in the back, and then they're the number 6 or their defensive midfielder. So it doesn't matter which player is in this role. This is something that they consistently show. Same thing again, coverage. And Senegal was able to break there and get a chance. But what we are looking at is tendencies. If we realize, same thing right here, we could say because of the shift, 4, the one number 6 generally would be in this slot on the ball side, but the quick shift, but you still see they have their defensive shape. Good try. Right here is where it's quick one-touch passes. That helps to break this team quickly. Holding on to the ball a second or two too long, especially with their pressure and defensive transition. Quick, quick. Ball is moving quickly, even though they have good rotation. But the quick pass is where we're gonna find more success against this team, and then knock into space. And that's just good awareness by this player to get the ball headed back down to the player that he saw. Don't take no away. These are things that we have to be disciplined about in our marking, especially in our turn. Pass started right here. Play back, and it's gonna be a quick touch in and then break. He makes a touch, and Mane was able to receive the ball and give a cutback for one of the players inside the box. One, turn, there you go. cut back. Great chance created. So ball gets wide right here. Numbers game, but quick passes again. Our early cross. And here they'll attack the space if we leave it available for them. They'll attack the space. As you see just now, they attacked the space and was able to draw a foul and they called on one of the Senegal players. Towards the money dribbles here, I want to notice is a trailing player again that comes in and get a shot off that forced the goalkeeper to make a save. We'll see it on the replay. Um, Player right here comes in the middle, lays it off. This player puts pressure on the center back right here. And the player that gets the shot off, he's again not even in the frame. But this player running the channel and putting them under defensive pressure, and with the skill set of Sadio Mane was able to lay the ball to this player right here. And because this player already pushed forward and this player has to be accounted for either him or the tracker, the trailing player comes and get a play on the ball. Great save by the goalkeeper. But that's where our trailing players are going to be very important too. Right here, put them under pressure. Right here. And they're looking for a quick slot through, put in the defensive unit under pressure. Great defensive recovery and challenged by the Senegal defender. So we are going to have to be disciplined in our mark. So again, right here, they gain possession and they have a player right here. And they're looking to move the ball and create. They're looking to move the ball and create some issue for the defensive team. Player goes in, and they're aware. Gets a shot off. Great save by the Senegal goalkeeper. They got it again. Deep run. Again, break. Keeper was able to make a play on the ball. So what time that gonna present itself for us? So right here they win possession of the ball. Get a throw in. And they start their attack quick. Okay. Change the point of attack quickly. Though this is deeper in their half and with more numbers. I believe it's very much similar to the goal they scored against Nigeria. Players pointing, leaving the ball in the space. There you go, ball left inside the space. He knows he has but he's heading where in the box. Cross comes in. I'm freezing the frame to see, so we could see their development. Putting you under ultimate pressure. The passer gets the cutback, play the ball in. Goalkeeper was unable to gather the ball ends up in the net. So tracking and maintaining our defensive discipline, we'll have to track 1, 2, and 3 runs. Here you go from when the ball was switched from here, the player right here was here. So he already anticipated should this player receive the ball, what space he wants to attack. Senegal midfielder get caught sleeping here. And there it is, the ball played down. Look where he's heading. He has to go here to challenge for the ball. He has to make sure he takes care of this player right here. So the cutback allows him, because this defender right here was the one confronting the he has an edge on him because his back is turned, so he's just hitting the space right here. So he was trying to recover to the ball right here. He's trying to cut off the shot. He was also protecting the pass on the inside, or the cross from the inside. He's concerned about him and also trying to protect the back post. Cross comes in, beats him to the ball. Also reminiscent from our free kick that we got our goal from in the New Caledonia game, where he was able to get on the inside of the defender protecting the far post. Calamantier was able to get in the inside and was able to finish. Spill beans resulted in a goal. So right here, Senegal is breaking. Right here, Ford was looking for a pass right here, but he's occupying this defender right here. Occupying the defender right here. Should they have a quick cross in? This is really the defender's ball. But for he misplayed the ball, or he seems to misplay the ball or jammed his leg, and the continuation of the offensive player gained possession. And look right here, he has a clear shot on goal, but what we have a trailing player. Sadio Mane right here, also trailing, but should there be a cross? He's probably looking for the cross, and also should there be a save which occurred, and he was all by himself. A defender right here came off him, which he had no choice, trying to protect should the ball be the goalkeeper trying to get a play on the ball on the line. But unfortunate for them, unfortunate for Mane. The keeper made a save on the ball and parried the ball back to him. And the keeper parried the ball back in the middle right here. They would have also had a player wide open. Calmly takes it, slap the ball in. So trailing again, trailing the player and being aware of the spacing. Here we have it. Mane breaks to the outside. The trailer was right here. Finish. Go. Look at it again. Here we have Finish. Nice squeeze finish. Quick pass. So both teams were able to progress out of their group stages. That game ended 1-1. Both teams were able to progress out of their group stages. What we're looking at is the tendencies of the DRC team, where their strengths lies on offense and where their strength lies on defense, and all the Senegal team in both games were able to break them down, and all the Nigeria team was able to break them down, and look at the way the all goals from all three games were scored. And that should give us a good idea of the team that we play and how we can best prepare our mind, um, our game plan to the task we have at hand.